Your forecast first, sponsored by Natax Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
A lot of us were within a few degrees of 90 today, and we're basically still at that same point. In fact, Pontiac right now is at 89 degrees, 87 in Bloomington and Champaign, 88 degrees in Lincoln, and we're looking at 85 right now in Danville, and there is a 90 in Paris. But in Danville, you can see we've got the nice blue skies out there with those fair weather cumulus clouds on our Flooring America weather camera with very light winds out there, so the air is very still. Tomorrow will be even warmer by a few more degrees, but we'll have a little bit of a breeze to help keep things moving. But the backyard forecast remains sunny as well as hot, and we're calling for more of the same for tomorrow. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now on WCIA 3 News.
Students will be back on campus this semester at the U of I, but it won't look like it did before. What changes they can expect.
Schools across the state are waiting to hear what needs to happen to reopen this fall, what students could have to do to walk into classrooms.
He's made these students' lives a living nightmare.
And accusations of racism are flying against one high school football coach. What some say he's done.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 5.
We're about 10 weeks away from the beginning of fall classes, and we have a lot of work to do between now and then.
Students will be back at the U of I this fall, but it won't be the same as a normal semester. Good evening, I'm Jennifer Roscoe. The university announced their plans today, including some of what people can expect when they go to class. WCIA 3's Andy Olson is live on campus right now. And Andy, so the plan to bring 50,000 people together in one place can't be easy.
Yeah, Jennifer, they said that they've been working seriously on this plan since early April. They wanted to get the framework out there as soon as possible to make sure that teachers, students, parents can prepare for when it happens. They say it will be a mix of in-person instruction and the e-learning they did to end the spring semester. Classes that are hands-on, like labs, will be more likely to still meet in person with social distancing and other precautions. The university says with their guidelines, a room that would normally hold 100 people will only be able to have 20 this semester. That means larger lectures are more likely to be held remotely. There will be more added to the plan as the semester gets closer. The vice provost says they're confident in the plan they put together.
We don't have all the answers to every question yet, but I think we've made tremendous progress, and we're very confident that we can move forward with a safe semester on campus. It will look different than a normal semester, but we feel like this is the right thing for us to do as an institution.
Every student will get a mask and thermometer to check their temperature when they come back to campus. The university says there is a plan in place to do 10,000 coronavirus tests per day when the semester starts. Now, this plan hinges on the state moving into and staying in phase 4 of their reopening plan. Now, plans could be tweaked in the next couple of weeks as the semester gets closer, but the next step is to make those preparations in the plan so the classrooms can be as safe as possible. In Urbana, Andy Olson, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
And Andy, what have they said about a timeline of the semester, starting and ending?
Well, so far what they've said, they haven't made a decision on when the semester could end for in-person instruction. They have said they've discussed, of course, when students go home for Thanksgiving break, them staying home and finishing the semester there and then coming back for the spring semester. But of course, like I said, that has not been certain yet. They haven't decided on that yet. It's one of the things that they are considering, but so far the semester, they have planned for it to start on time in the middle of August.
Okay, Andy, thank you so much. Another person in Champaign County has died from COVID-19. It was a man in his 70s with underlying health conditions. He's the 11th person in the county to die from the virus. There was another death yesterday, a man in his 40s without any health issues. Now, across the state, 55 more people have died from the virus, totaling more than 6,500. There are also 593 new cases, bringing us to nearly 135,000. A coach and assistant principal at a Vermilion County school is being accused of racism and more. Someone who used to work with him says he calls kids the N-word. WCIA 3's Courtney Bunting has more.
It started as a Facebook post by a former coach at Georgetown Ridge Farm High School. The Post says current football coach Josh Kavanaugh, who's also the junior high assistant principal, called students the N-word. He says Kavanaugh also nicknamed their backfield, made up of all black players, Night Train. It led to story after story of how people say Kavanaugh mistreated them or others. Trent Reed and his brother played football there. Kavanaugh coached his brother from 2011 to 2014. He says the same thing was happening back then.
Whether you're in administration, whether you're a coach, whether you're a teacher, your job, if you're working in a school system, is to shape the young minds that are going to become the leaders of tomorrow. And at every step of the way, Kavanaugh has failed, and he's made these students' lives a living nightmare.
While some of these issues with Kavanaugh are coming to light again, former coaches say this is nothing new and that he has a pattern of mistreating players and other students.
It's a volatile work environment. He's always angry. He has the kids afraid of him.
I called Kavanaugh and emailed him, but never heard back. I've also received 2 anonymous calls saying Kavanaugh is innocent of these accusations. In Georgetown, Courtney Bunting, WCIA3, your local news leader.
One former coach says he brought issues with Kavanaugh's treatment of students to the high school principal. They did an investigation into the concerns and said they were unfounded. We reached out to the superintendent today, Jean Neal. She says, quote, they can't comment publicly about this, but generally speaking, they respond appropriately to any credible claim of unacceptable behavior involving a staff member. And tonight, this just in, players are meeting in a show of unity for Coach Kavanaugh. That's at 6:30 at the quarterback's home. Illinois' Attorney General has filed a lawsuit against a plasma collection company. One of their 14 locations is in Champaign. CSL Plasma is accused of discriminating against people with disabilities. The company is accused of denying service to someone with a service animal at its Rockford location. It's also accused of denying service to someone who's deaf, who requested a sign language interpreter at its Montgomery location. The Champaign business opened last August. CSL also has locations in Decatur, Normal, and Springfield. The former executive director of a Rantoul nursing home has been arrested. Police say she stole more than $20,000 from the place. It happened at the Villas of Hollybrook. 44-year-old Kimberly Cross of Rantoul is charged with financial exploitation of an elderly person. Officers found checks written to the villas had either been altered, cashed, or deposited into an account other than the business account. Some at the state capitol are trying to tackle police reform, what one plan would involve. Plus, the community might have a solution to curb violent gatherings in one park, what they decided to do.